Well, gonna help out. We go in with the pressure. Skeleton barrel in the right-hand lane. Can we defend here? Fireball comes down against the skeleton dragons. We have the zap in hand, and the opponent immediately comes down on those spear goblins. So we're gonna take some damage here, but the tower will not fall, I don't think. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. How you guys doing? Hopefully you're all doing well out there. I got a message from somebody a few days ago, actually, going through some kind of mental issues. I shouldn't say mental issues, but going through some depression. Let's just be real about it, right? So I just wanted to kind of send, again, positive vibes to all of you guys out there. I wish I had time, not that I'm anybody who's qualified to be giving psychological or life advice to anybody, but I do want to kind of send a message of positivity to all of you guys out there right now. As corny and cliche as it might sound to you guys, you do matter. People care about you in the world. You do. You really do. So try to find the positive in life, because ultimately, it's, again, cliche, forgive me. Life isn't what happens to you. It's really how you react to it between your ears, how you react to what goes on in life. So again, maybe one of you out there needs to hear this, but send in much love and positivity and just good vibes your way. So today, I want to go ahead and share with you, well, show and tell. The #1 player in the world, it's Airsurfer back on the channel, man. I love Airsurfer. Good dude, and he's there. He's at #1, 8,038 trophies, and I've been saying this all season, guys, but really, the two strongest cards, the three, Heal Spirit, it's there. It's getting nerfed, in case you missed the balance change video. But if you saw the video before the balance change video a couple days ago with MUSKY, the highest win percentage right now in CRL East, 85% win rates. Every single one of his decks, he uses the Musketeer and the Knight. Insane. Both of those cards in the same deck is stronger than they've ever been. I'm even going way back to beta days, guys. It is really, really insane, the power of that tandem, and it's good because they're free to play friendly, right? They can use them as one of your 32 cards in your 15 war decks, or okay, 4, but you guys get the point, okay? So this is the deck that Airsurfer has used. Let me just show you it right here. It is the new mortar deck. I hate this new copy paste feature, man. I hate it. Paste. Just copy. I want to copy the deck too. So here it is, guys. This is the new hot mortar deck. A few players in the top 10 are actually using this deck, right? It's the mortar, it's the knight, the musky. We already talked about that tandem, how powerful they are. And then you have the zap bait. Well, you have the log bait / zap bait with the goblin gang, the spear goblins, and the skeleton barrel with the log and fireball combo. This deck is so good. 3.1 average elixir cost. Even if you're not a mortar player, I know even I will look at a deck like this and at first glance say, that's not for me, man. I don't play mortar. I don't do that. I don't do that baloney. But no, it's solid. This deck is really solid. You don't have to be like a mortar god to play it either. Let's go ahead and watch some replays, and I'm going to give you some tips straight from Airsurfer himself. A variety of great matchups here in top 10, top 5, well, heck, top 2, top 1 ladder for you guys. So let's get to the tips first. So I'll put this replay on kind of in the background from Airsurfer's mouth himself. General tips using this deck would be to cycle musketeers early and often. Use them a lot because it's your main DPS on defense and the best card to support the mortar. In most matchups, you should be attacking both lanes to cause more pressure with your bait cards, because versus beatdown decks, they will go for a tower trade situation, and you want to be up in damage for when they do. So again, we want to be attacking both lanes and cycling a lot of musketeers. The idea here is 3.1 cycle deck. We're using a lot of musketeers. That should be one of your go-to cards whenever you have the defensive opportunity, according to Airsurfer himself. Next, try not to fireball on defense so often, because it's better to be cycling your troops so you get counter push potential. Interesting. Try not to use your fireball on defense that often. It's better to cycle your troops instead so you get that counter push potential. Use your fireball on offense, says Airsurfer. Always defend with your Musketeer and Goblin gang, so you always have to, if you defend with your Musketeer and Goblin gang, you have to always spread them out to avoid spells and especially tornado. Everybody knows not to put them right on top of each other, but always be cognizant of tornado radius as well. Make sure you're separating your cards appropriately. Your Spirit Goblins, your Goblin Gang, and your Musketeer. And then Skeleton Barrel can be used on defense sometimes as a distraction instead of wasting your goblins. So instead of using Spirit Goblins, Goblin Gang, if you need that as a counter to other cards, go ahead and just defend with a Skeleton Barrel, says Airsurfer. So those are the tips that he gave on the deck. Now we're going to be able to actually see him in action, crossing over into double elixir time here. 54 seconds left on the clock. Let's see how he does against this kind of heavier Royal Hog Barbarian Hut deck. Man, Airsurfer just such a solid player, been around since the beginning of the game. I really like watching this guy play. So cycling a Goblin Gang in back, putting a Knight in front of them to tank, and we go with the defensive mortar as soon as the opponent goes with the Barbarian Hut, right? So we go in with that Skeleton Barrel in front of the Knight, applying some pressure there. Fireball down against that Musketeer. She wasn't at full health, so we take her out. Nice fireball. The opponent leaking a little bit of elixir, then they come in just cycling behind their King Tower. We go with a log value, getting, pushing back those Barbarians. The mortar will finish them off. And here comes another hut by the opponent. We have a Knight set up with the Musketeer again on defense. Musketeer is going to finish off those Skeleton Dragons and then kind of start marching behind that Knight. We also combo it with a mortar. Again, using that mortar value, that was a good fireball value for the opponent though. Let's see. We get that Skeleton Barrel again to that tower. Now it's going to be fireball range on that Musketeer. Should we decide to go for it? Looks like we're not going to. It's going to reload with a Knight in the back again, setting up that 1-2 combo of the Knight and the Musketeer. Probably going to put them on the thumbnail too because this game is all about the Knight and the Musketeer combo. Look at the Knight. Man, both of the cards are insane, you know, but geez, nice fireball there too. Nice fireball. So the damage is really very close to even here. We go again with the defensive mortar, and here comes a big push from the opponent, recognizing that we don't have fireball in cycle. They go with the Royal Hogs and the Skeleton Dragons, but not that big of a deal, getting so much value out of our Spirit Goblins and our Goblin Gang. 4 Spirit Goblins stay alive in the right-hand lane. Log comes down the left-hand lane. Here we go again with the Royal Hogs coming down on top of that mortar. Again, the Goblin Gang separated nicely. Fireball comes down against the Skeleton Dragons, trying to protect our Goblins. Here it goes, 4 Barbarians marching their way down the left-hand lane. We go the Musketeer on defense, and again, Skeleton Barrel trying to put the pressure on the opponent, recognizing, that they don't have that Barbarian Barrel in cycle. Wow. All right, so here we go. Musketeer putting in some work on defense. Again, Knight is down, trying to protect those Goblins. Unfortunately, the Barbarian does finish them off. We go again with that aggressive Skeleton Barrel and a fireball coming down. So finally, those Skeletons, they don't get to the tower, but we are chipping away. 15:57, mostly thanks to spell damage here. 26 seconds remaining. Log comes down against those Royal Hogs. Not 1 ounce of damage to that right tower. And again, fireball comes down, taking care of the Skeleton Dragons in a 4-4-4 trade, plus the Heal Spirit, giving us a +1, positive elixir trade. Now we go in with that log, the defensive mortar, the Musketeer. Nice defense here. We play at Knight right there at the bridge on top of the opponent's Musketeer with 2 seconds, 1 second remaining. Fireball down, and we come across with the victory, exchanging some BM at the end, and there it goes, guys. Airsurfer with the victory off the draw to start out this video. Let's go ahead and watch this deck against Lava Loon. You know, I always kind of ask myself, okay, but how am I going to defend against Lava Loon, right? I mean, I know we have the mortar, we have the fireball, we have Skeleton Barrel, we have Musketeer, and then we have our Goblins. So we have some air responses, but we only have like 1 big heavy hitter in the Musketeer. So we start out just by being pretty aggressive here. You know, you see Airsurfer goes in with the Spear Goblins first play, and then he goes right into that mortar. Here comes that Tombstone to try to distract. We go again, still staying aggressive here with the Skeleton Barrel, recognizing that Tombstone's not going to be pulling the Skeleton Barrel, and hey, we score hundreds of damage off of that left tower. Here comes the Lava Hound for the opponent, Aragorn from Gondor. So here we go, Musketeer out of hand here. We're going to be able to cycle to another Musketeer, but we might have to tower trade. And knowing that, recognizing that, we go in. You guys see that right there? I mean, we recognize, okay, we're not going to be able to defend against a lava loon push here. So we have to drop that Knight in front of the Musketeer, and we have to tower trade in this situation. That's exactly what ends up happening here. We take that left tower down, and as you saw, we're still going to be able to cycle to another Musketeer. There's just no way we can defend. It's a lava loon coming at our right tower, or at our left tower from his perspective in single elixir time. We had to trade in that situation. Smart move by Airsurfer. We talked about that when we talked about his tips. We want to be up on damage. We want to be cognizant of what the opponent is trying to do at all points during the match. So here we go again with that mortar. Skeleton dragons coming down, immediately just having that fireball ready is Airsurfer, taking care of those skeleton dragons, making quick work of them. And now Spirit Goblin's able to go ahead and finish off that mega minion. So now we're getting all kinds of damage. Mortar has locked onto that right tower. Zap misses a couple of those skeletons. And there we go. We take the tower all the way down to 1342. Not even, guys. Not even in double elixir time yet. 3 seconds remaining until we get a double elixir time. As soon as that lava hound comes down, boom, the 1-2 punch of the Knight and the Goblin gang in the pocket, forcing Barbarians out of the hand of the opponent as 5 elixir. We have the mortar to take care of those barbs, and we scored even more damage on that right tower. Log as well going to help out. We go in with the pressure. Skeleton barrel in the right-hand lane. Can we defend here? Fireball comes down against the skeleton dragons. We have the zap in hand of the opponent, immediately comes down on those spirit goblins. So we're going to take some damage here, but the tower will not fall, I don't think. Very close to 338. We have mortar in hand to distract the balloon. So the opponent's kind of in a tricky situation here. Airsurfer decides, you know what, I'm going to get some more elixir out of this dude's hand right now. I'm going to apply even more pressure on this guy. We have a Musketeer in hand. We go Musky. Here comes that balloon. We all knew it was coming. We need to pull that away. So we delay. Do we delay? Fireball comes down, but the fireball was 1 second too early. That's going to be GG with 88 HP on the tower. A perfect example, a perfect illustration for you guys watching at home, how to handle a big air attack, how to trade towers, how to always stay aggressive, especially after they make that elixir investment in their big tank unit. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one here, guys. So Airsurfer again, this time on the bottom of your screen, going against Sparky, Goblin Giant Sparky deck. I want to give a big, speaking of Sparky, I want to give a big shout out right now to my man Sweep. You guys know Sweep, the Dr. Disrespect lookalike who was on the channel a couple weeks ago. He just made it into CRL as a part of Pain. Huge congratulations to him. Really good dude, good streamer as well. So check out his information. I'm sure all of you guys know Sweep. It reminds me because I see the Sparky, and I know he's also on top ladder right now as well. Nice to see people who have been former guests here on the channel go on to be CRL pros. It's happened so many times here on the channel. It's really cool to see. So we do eat that Sparky hit to start things out. Not the start that Airsurfer was wanting here in the right-hand lane, but it's going to be okay. Otherwise, why would I show you this, right? I don't know if Airsurfer actually showed any losses, but I am encouraging my guests here, especially when we do replays, which I actually like. I don't know if you guys love it or if you're like kind of divided. I imagine everything on the internet is divided, right? But I actually like replay. I like the energy and the uncertainty of live matches. Nothing beats that. But I also really appreciate seeing the cards in their hands. So, you know, my personal preference. If you want to learn, you watch replays, in my opinion. If you want to, you can still learn from live matches, but it's just a little bit more entertaining, in my opinion. So, Goblin Gang surrounding that Sparky. Heal Spirit comes down, but it's a little bit too late to heal up that Sparky. Thank God for Airsurfer. And again, Knight, the MVP, is down. Fireball comes down, doesn't matter. Still able to mitigate any extra damage aside from that Fireball on our right tower. And we are right back in this thing. We send in those Spirit Goblins. Going to be tanked for momentarily. At least one Spirit Goblin by one shot on that Princess Tower. But that was enough to put us back in the damage lead. And we're going to need it. Because against a heavier beatdown deck like this, they're going to have the big advantage when it comes to double elixir time. So as soon as that Sparky comes down, we go in with the skeleton barrel, and I assume the opponent's just going to ignore it, and that's going to give us another 100 damage or so off that tower. Pay attention to this defense here, guys. Again, nice separation. We log everything back, biding more time for our defenses to kind of clean up here. We go with that skeleton barrel kind of defensively, and we have the Goblin Gang ready to go again. So again, check this out. Just textbook defense, and those skeletons end up getting even more damage off that right tower. Here it comes again. Our Musketeer is going to finish, not finish off, but the log will finish off that Musketeer. We pull, make sure we ensure we're pulling that mini P.E.K.K.A to the center. Zap comes down. It's okay. Here comes the Goblin Gang again, helping out on the defensive end. Is biding time, chomping away at that mini P.E.K.K.A along with the weak side Princess Tower helping us out as well. So just like that with 6 seconds remaining in this match here, guys, we are right back in it to the tune of a damage advantage. So he's probably going to go with a Goblin Giant right on top of those skeletons. He does, but not before we score, again, another 100 damage or so. Again, same defense here. We have Knight selected. Knight is down. We have Log ready to go. Log's going to push everything back. Nice Log here. And then Spear Goblins to eat 1 Sparky hit. A Fireball and Zap used against that Musketeer. It's okay. We have another Musketeer in hand, ready to go. We have another Mortar ready to go. We have a Knight at the very last second, thank God. Tried to finish off that Musketeer, wasn't able to do so. We're just going to log her back, getting more damage on that weak side tower. 641 remaining. Fireball comes down. No big deal. Goblin Gang in hand. We go with it. At the bridge, Skeleton Barrel as well. Recognizing that, again, he only has Zap here, so forcing more cards out of his hand. Zap's going to come down here probably. Nope, minions will finish that off. But again, now we're down to 445. We go with the Knight first. We go with the Mortar high. Mortar's going to lock onto that tower unless he has a distracting unit. So he sacrifices essentially a Musketeer here. We have Log back in hand. We can log this back nicely. Let's see, triple elixir time. We don't even use the Log there. Fireball does come down from the opponent. Fireball comes down from us as well. 195 remaining on that tower. Need a little bit of skeleton damage. We don't get it, but a Log does come down. So now it's a do or die for the opponent. We go Knight and Goblin Gang at the bridge. High Mortar again. Fireball's back in hand. That's going to be GG for Airsurfer. Well played. It doesn't even make it look... It's not super flashy. It wasn't a flashy match. Just textbook. No mistakes aside from maybe that very first Sparky hit connection onto our tower. Very well played by Airsurfer. There's a reason my man is #1 in the world right now, right? I don't want to end the video watching against a P.E.K.K.A Bridge Spam matchup. Because I feel like P.E.K.K.A Bridge Spam is a bit back in the meta compared to maybe where it was 2 months ago. I think the use rates are up on all of these cards. There was a day when P.E.K.K.A Bridge Spam was like absolutely everywhere. Mainly when Magic Archer was super OP. However, I do think that Magic Archer is incredibly strong. I wouldn't be surprised to see Airsurfer throughout the duration of this match. I actually have not pre-watched this match. I wouldn't be surprised to see him just fireball the Magic Archer every time he is played from here on out, providing he has the elixir and the fireball in hand. So P.E.K.K.A is played against this Mortar. Now what are we going to do here? Musketeer probably. And there we go. We delay a little bit on that Musketeer. It's going to allow her to almost snipe the E-Wiz. The Goblins finish it off. So now we have to deal with the Bandit and the P.E.K.K.A, but nice patience here. Zap does come down, but we delay just enough on the timing in between these defensive cards. The Knight, the Spear Goblins, the Goblin Gang, whatever we're using, the Musketeer, to make sure that we're not providing too much spell value for the opponent, right? So here we go. Skeleton Barrel. The opponent has nothing for it. It's going to be a poison, but not before we get a few hundred damage off that right tower. And immediately we go with the Mortar. Here comes the Battle Ram for the opponent. Just going to go ahead and have that Log selected. And then we have Knight ready to go. Against the Royal Ghost, that is. Spirit Goblins split in the middle. We'll make sure we avoid any damage from, again, those Barbarians from the Battle Ram. So still here, both of our towers completely healthy. Forcing kind of an awkward poison against that Skeleton Barrel, excuse me. And here we go. It's going to be Magic Archer time for the opponent. So we actually don't go with the Fireball that time. We just have the Musketeer ready to go. Going to go Musky here. Perfect placement on that Musketeer, making sure we don't take any damage. He has E-Wiz in hand. We go immediately with the Mortar as well, forcing a P.E.K.K.A out of the hand of the opponent. He has Zap in hand. He's going to probably use it right there. He uses E-Wiz instead. But again, looks scary when we have a P.E.K.K.A and a E-Wiz coming at us, Royal Ghost opposite lane, but that's where Knight comes in handy again. So Knight is down, is going to engage against that P.E.K.K.A, Fireball down against the Battle Ram. A Bandit is also played by the opponent, no big deal. We have the Spear Goblins. We're trying to cycle back to another Knight, essentially, right? And we have him back in hand. We don't even need him. Very well played. And now we're going to go ahead and have that Mortar lock onto the Magic Archer. The Knight just buying more time. Just nice gameplay here by Airsurfer. And again, look at that mortar's health, guys. Despite the Magic Archer, this is probably the turning point of the match. With only 10 seconds remaining here, we're going to go ahead and force out another kind of weird poison by the opponent on top of our mortar. Meanwhile, our towers are still at 100% full health and immediately back to another mortar. So it's safe to say that against P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam, Airsurfer's being very aggressive with his mortars. And again here, we don't need to use a fireball. I said we're going to be fireballing the Magic Archer every time, and as fate would have it, we've never fireballed the Magic Archer this entire match. That's going to be good game. And again, a flawless victory, perfect match, no damage. Why am I holding a pen throughout this video like I'm a teacher? Students, listen up. All right, guys, that's Airsurfer. That's that combo. Do you agree with me, or am I on my mind? I don't know. Musketeer and Knight, strongest combo in the game right now. What do you guys think? Are you using them in your deck? Let me know in the comments below. Huge shout out to Airsurfer. Check out his player's stats and profile. Thanks to statsroyale.com in the show notes below. Make sure you show love to my guests here, guys. It helps me out. It helps me continue to attract the best players in the world here to show off their decks and their strategy tips and highlights here on the channel. And of course, thank you for using creator code CWA. Check out Bren Chong's tournament information in the description below. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.